How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading whether the price is going up or down. Bitcoin and Ethereum push higher as inflation slows. Well, this article is a little late to the drop. But inflation did rise to 4.9%, so that's bad for Bitcoin and good for our economy. The estimate was 5%, so we came in a little lower, so that's good, meaning prices aren't accelerating as fast as economists thought. So that means that the economy is doing slightly better, so we may be able to do the pivoting like the Fed wants. That's not good for Bitcoin because then that means that we won't have the interest rate hikes, which is helping propel it, but we do have the halving soon next year, about a year away, and that will be a bull market catalyst for us. Tether posts massive first quarter profits of $1.48 billion. So Tether, the coin everyone thought was going to go bankrupt, and it was USDC and other coins, reported a profit of $1.48 billion. Its 2023 Q1 assurance report was performed by BOA Italia, which they were paid to do by Tether, by revealing that its reserves reached an all-time high of $2.44 billion, a $1.4 billion increase in the same quarter last year. So they had an investigation. It wasn't a private audit or anything. They still have yet to have one. The company said that most of its reserves were held in cash equivalents, and the majority invested in U.S. Treasury bills. Only 1.8% was held in Bitcoin. So they weren't really risky with your money like everyone else was. Although BOA Italia was commissioned to prepare the report, it has yet to be independently audited, like I said. We are thrilled with the tremendous success Tether has achieved in the Q1 2023, with our reserve surplus reaching an all-time high of $2.44 billion, said the CTO. So this is good because if they have surplus cash, that means it's harder to take them down. Bitcoin developer calls to block Ordinals BRC20 tokens from the network. So we know that it's congestion in the network, so Luke Dashir suggested that on GitHub, he emailed other developers and miners asking them to implement a spam filter as part of the Taproot transactions to block Ordinals and BRC20 tokens. Now, the developer wrote that the change must be imposed either through a BIP proposal, Bitcoin improvement proposal, or as an update to the core client that the node operators and miners run to validate transactions. He noted in the email that this could be a bug fix and could be released immediately and didn't need to be done in a soft fork, but many people criticized him. One notable reply came from Washington Sanchez on Frank's post, I believe it was, the NFT product lead at Kraken, who calls Dashir's attempts to block the development of one-man jihad against Ordinals. I doubt that the other devs will take him seriously based on other precious comments that Bitcoin was working as expected if people are submitting valid transactions, he said. So people are saying, hey, these transactions are valid, so it's not a big problem. And you got this guy saying that, hey, it's a financial thing, might want to use it as a financial thing. In a separate discussion on the public Bitcoin forum, bitcointalk.org, some members expressed dismay over using Bitcoin for purposes besides transferring value. However, an urgent need to add an ordinal filter was not evident. That's pretty much where I stand. Let me know where you stand on this issue. So, Bitcoin dominance is taking a little bit of a fall. We got Manipulation X that could confirm. RSI is starting to fall. Stochastic could ride around, but it's overall falling. VWAP's falling, and our money flow is starting to reject out. Our altcoins are trying to pump up slightly. You can see we're pretty in the green on them, so we are trying to get a little bit of a pump, kind of like I suggested. Stochastic wants to make a run up, RSI wants to make a run up, VWAP wants to curl up, our money flow is pretty flat, and our momentum wants to make a curl here. So Bitcoin is a little green now. However, we did reject our point of control. We also did reject the value area low to point that out. But we did try to come to the point of control 2 days in a row now, and we got rejected. So that area is becoming an area of resistance. If we aren't able to get some green candles filled in here, then it's likely we'll start to fall down, at which point our next support's around 25k. Stochastic is starting to round off, but it's pretty oversold. RSI is starting to slip away. Our money flow is starting to curl away. Our VWAP's trying to curl up. Our momentum's trying to curl up, so we got some conflicting signs. A lot of things are trying to push lower. We'll have to kind of see the other time frames. Our stochastic's getting a bearish cross and starting to fall. RSI is kind of starting to slip away. VWAP broke into the bearish zone. Our money flow is well into the bearish territory on the 4 hour. Our momentum, it was trying to come up pretty aggressively, however it started to fall away and is getting a red dot that could confirm and bring us lower. We also have that manipulation X here on the 4 hour that's carried to the 2 hour. Our stochastic is starting to round. RSI is trying to push up. Our momentum wants to make a bit of a curl. Money flows overall inching out. And our VWAP's trying to head up, but we'll have to see if it can actually cross and stay above the neutral zone or not on the 2 hour. On the 1 hour we tried to go green, but we got rejected. So if we start to fall away, then that could lead our other time frames to start to fall even further. Stochastic's starting to round off. RSI is starting to round off. Our momentum broke into the bearish zone, but it could start to round and push higher. Our VWAP looks like it wants to round and push higher, so we're going to have to see if we get any bearish momentum. We are somewhat in a down channel, so if we keep forming a down channel, that would be a bullish pattern. But if we just break down, kind of like we have where we've consolidated then broke down, then we could just keep this consolidation breakdown, kind of like the beginning of the bear market. So our futures, we don't really have any new gaps. We still have this higher gap, and we have our lower gap. With CPI coming in less than expected, we could pivot. So if we are able to pivot, we could start to see Bitcoin slide as our other assets start to increase, the less risk assets. So we'll have to kind of see if this recessionary asset starts to slide, and then we wait for the halving to pump us back up. Over on graph, get to the daily. We are trying to push up. Got bullish engulfing candle. Got a little bit of a rounding action going here, so we're setting up some nice action there. Stochastic's got a bullish cross. RSI is starting to peak up. VWAP's getting close to breaking that bullish zone. Our VWAP wants to break bullish. Our momentum looks like we could get a curl in the next candle or two. So we are looking pretty positive so far. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic's just running wild. RSI is trying to head up, so hopefully that stochastic hangs out here and brings our RSI higher. Our VWAP kept trying to break bearish, but kept rejecting, and now it's made a bit of a run. Our money flow was overall heading down, but now it's currently retracing to about this resistance area it has. So if we can push a little higher and break that, our money flow might start to snap bullish. Momentum's trying to get an aggressive curl up, so that is good for us as well. So that could help with that snap. Over on the 2 hour, sorry, it's really warm in here. Our stochastic is running up, RSI is running up, momentum's trying to run up, our VWAP's making lower highs, so our medium trend is starting to come out, so that's a little concerning. Our money flow overall is heading up. Our momentum could round out, but it looks like it could try and push forward as well. We'll have to see if we get some momentum. We're kind of making a little mini bull flag right here, so that could help pump us back to the support level, resistance level. Our stochastic's kind of rounding off. RSI is looking a little weak. Momentum's trying to make higher highs though and push forward, so we'll have to see if that can keep going. And our money flow keeps touching the neutral zone but keeps jumping off, so we'll have to see if it can push away and actually gain some strength. Our VWAP's getting pretty close to breaking bearish too, so watch out for that. Over on Anchor, we're pushing off our low volume area, so that is good for us. So our next stop could be the other low value profile, value area low. Otherwise, we could go to our point of control if we just snap past that. Stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross. RSI is trying to round, very similar to our other altcoin. The momentum looks like we could get a green dot soon. 4 hour, looking pretty decent, might be able to make some sort of cup. Our stochastic might start to fall here, RSI is trying to push forward. Hopefully our stochastic doesn't just fall off, because that'd be bad for our RSI, considering our RSI is not too far above this bullish area, or the neutral area. Our stochastic, our VWAP is trying to run up pretty strongly, so that is good. Our medium term is trying to keep its momentum. Money flow overall trying to come back up, but not too aggressively yet. Momentum's trying to come up pretty strong, so that is good for us. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's trying to push forward, RSI is trying to push forward, our momentum's trying to keep going. It was kind of curling off, so that is good that it's kind of invalidating that. Our VWAP's making lower highs though, and could start to come out on us. And our money flow just can't seem to break that neutral zone, so watch out for that money. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is in the bullish territory, so hopefully that can lead into the higher time frames, medium time frames. Our stochastic and RSI, as well as our momentum, are all flashing bearish signals and look like they want to fall off, so be cautionary of that. And our VWAP is very on that neutral area, so it's could break one way or the other. We're gonna have to see which way it decides to move, or if it just kind of sputters around for a little bit. So XRP, not too exciting compared to everything else. Got a little bit of a long lower shadow candle, which shows that sellers did try to push us down, but were unsuccessful. But be careful, because big candle wicks like these can tend to fill. RSI is kind of flattening out, stochastic's trying to run up. Our money flow is bouncing off that bearish zone and heading back up, so that is good for us. Our VWAP's trying to do the same, break that neutral zone. And our momentum is trying to curl. Looks a little further away for a green dot than our other altcoins. Our 4 hour, stochastic's making a run, RSI is making a run. Our VWAP bounced off the neutral zone for the second time in the last few candles. Our momentum is, our money flow is trying to come up overall. So we are trying to push through this resistance area, kind of like everything else, or just keep getting hung up around this area. Our momentum wants to push forward. We do have a green dot that could confirm, so that could help push us forward, but we're going to have to see if everything else can hold its ground. Over on the 2 hour, we're getting a bit of a reversal arrow that could signal we could push forward since our last trend was downwards. Stochastic's trying to push forward, RSI is trying to push forward. Our momentum's trying to make higher highs and validating a little bit of a bearish divergence here, so that is good for us. I just can't talk right now. Our money flow is trying to inch its way up, but it's not really going very far. And our VWAP's pretty flat here too, so the 2 hours pretty indecisive looking, even though we're getting that reversal arrow. The 1 hour, on the other hand, our money flow is in the bullish territory, so we got bullish money flow on the 1 hour, not the 2 hour, not the 4 hour, so you want to see that crossover, but the daily, it does have that green money flow though, so that could help propel us, and we may not need to wait for those crossovers. Our stochastic, our momentum's kind of rounding off though, stochastic's kind of rounding off, our RSI's kind of rounding, our VWAP's close to the neutral zone, and our money flow is, even though it's in the bullish territory, it is heading down, and it's gone kind of flat, so we'll have to see if it can round up from here or not. So, over on Algo, we have a pretty decent sized candle, almost a bullish engulfing candle to this one, so almost a really like a textbook rounding bottom. Our stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross, RSI is trying to push forward, our money flow is real close to breaking neutral as well as the VWAP, and our momentum wave looks like we could get a green dot in the next candle or two. Over on the 4 hour, stochastic looks like it was starting to fall, but it could start to recover. That's good for our RSI, so it could keep pushing our RSI higher. Our VWAP wants to go higher, it's making lower highs though, so be cautionary of that. Our momentum was coming up, but it keeps kind of getting these sharp rounds off, so watch out for that as well. And our money flow is coming up very close to that neutral zone, right on top of it, so if we can break through here and get some bullish momentum, that would be good for us. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a little bit of a green, so we are technically in the bullish territory for our money flow. We'll have to see if that can propel forward. We have a bullish divergence here trying to push us forward. Stochastic's trying to get a bullish cross. RSI's just kind of lugging along. Our VWAP's kind of weak, so we we have some conflicting signals on the 2 hour here. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic looks like it could get a bearish cross, so watch out for that. RSI is going kind of flat. Our money flow is starting to round away. Our VWAP starting to trend down. And our momentum's not looking too strong, so overall, the 1 hour looks like we may give up some of these gains from today, so exercise some caution. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.